my interest in Hipsters and Bogans is particularly about thinking about how class is part of everyday life, but we really don't talk about it in terms of class. Class is a form of inequality that's largely denied in our mainstream society. It's not talked about much in the media. Politicians hate the word unless they're talking about a class war, which ironically is often when people talk about redistributing wealth. So the figures of Hipster and Bogan are constantly in the media. I mean, there's stories at the moment about how there was a question in the HSC about a hipster cafe, right? And Bogan is used all the time in terms of people that drink VB or whatever. So this is the language of class. Hipsters are apparently obsessed with coffee and organic beer and and that kind of thing. Bogans tend to do the wrong things, right? They own the wrong stuff. They're uncouth and all that kind of thing. What these figures do is make a way of talking about class in the media without actually mentioning class. So it becomes about whose values, whose tastes are kind of more middle class, which is much around the hipster, and whose values are more working class, which is around the Bogan. And so my analysis of these things in the media around opinion pieces and news, and also how they're used in comedy as a way of helping us thinking about the everyday ways that class is present in the ways that we relate to each other, and the way that we think about others, and the way that we think about ourselves. What's particularly interesting about them is that they're sliding categories. So one person's hipster can be another person's bogan, and vice versa. I've said quite a bit that this happens to me with different sets of friends. People that I go and see bands with think that I play cricket means that I have bogan-esque qualities, and maybe some of the people I play cricket with want to go and see a band they never heard of maybe think I have hipster-esque qualities. So they don't necessarily pertain to particular people all the time. The way that I analyse them is that they're kind of almost like figures to hang our own kind of class anxieties on. We kind of use them to talk about other things and other people and culture, and they're a way of relating to each other in a kind of economy, I suppose. So they definitely relate to Bourdieu's work around habitus and symbolic violence. Bogan is particularly used as a form of symbolic violence to denigrate other people. Hipster, not so much. Hipster's kind of a more playful term in many ways, but people do use it as a form of insult as well. But what's interesting in terms of class is, in the media, that the people in the media tend to be very middle class. They have lots of cultural capital. And so they actually, in many ways, resemble the figure of the hipster. They have very similar interests. So they tend to write about the hipster in more playful, ironic, tongue-in-cheek ways. Whereas when the bogan is brought up, for the most part, it's about those people are wrong, they're vulgar, they're ugly, or they have bad taste, or they're violent or something. So again, these are good ways to kind of think about the relationality of class, and certainly the way that class is used to talk about people, to create a hierarchy, to create a sense of moral and values, and the way that that's implicit in the media and politics in the day-to-day life.